You're doing okay. So in this live stream, what I wanted to talk about was just the state of play in the UK. It just never seems to get any better, does it? It's always one thing after another. And of course, right now, with a Labour government, it's just everything seems to be hard. But a couple of things about that. First up, I just want to cover perceptions of the Labour government, because actually they've done some really good stuff that you and I probably don't hear about. But if you dig deeper, they have actually done some decent stuff. All right, they've made some mistakes, and we know that they've made some mistakes. And the problem, I think, is that anything that they do wrong is amplified and magnified 100-fold because of the press that we have. And so sometimes I don't think that's an accurate representation of what's truly going on. And that can then skew how we see the government. So if you go on Twitter, all you see is everybody's very, very upset. But actually, quite a lot of people are very happy with some of the stuff that Labour have done as well. Now, I don't like to go into politics at all. I don't like to say, go one way or the other. But what I do want to say is that I know that during times of a contraction, we're definitely in a financial contraction right now, but in those times of contraction, there are certain things that business owners need to be doing that you're probably not doing. And I think this live stream can probably help you just kind of understand or realize some of the things that you probably should be doing in your business that really might help you along and get more business and just get you through this difficult period. The first thing, of course, is that this too shall pass. There's a wonderful Tom Hanks thing that I saw, and he sat around a table full of other actors, and one of his biggest learnings was this too shall pass. You're going through tough times, this will pass. You're going through hard times, this too shall pass, unless it's something unsurmountable, of course. But most things, other than something health-wise, aren't unsurmountable. And I think just having perspective on what's really going on out there and where we are in this cycle, we're in a tough time. We're in tough times. There's no question about it. And we can, panic, and we can feel that the sky is falling down around us, or we can actually go, hang on a minute, is this an opportunity? You see, I think that you should always do the opposite of everybody else. When everybody else is panicking and everybody else is cutting back on expenditure, we've increased our expenditure. We've increased the Facebook ad spend, for example, and Google ads that we run. We've increased that expenditure through September and going into October and probably all the way through to Christmas. We've actually increased that. And why have we increased that? Well, it's quite interesting. Glad you asked. So one of the reasons why we've increased our expenditure is that when you're going through a contraction, everybody else is going through the same contraction. So a rising tide lifts all boats, and a tide that's coming down will drop all boats. Okay, it's not just us that are having to work twice as hard to stay where we are. Everybody else is as well in all sorts of industries. We were just doing month-end stats because end of September, start of October, and in the month-end stats, we've noticed that everybody's stats have dropped. Everybody's, all industries. Isn't that interesting? And everybody's finding it much harder. Money's much tighter. And when they're doing that, our competitors, other digital ad agencies, other content agencies, other digital marketing agencies, they're all struggling as well. And while they're all struggling, we've upped our spend, we've upped our content, we've upped our output, and we're going to be able to take advantage of some of those clients who would have used them in the past, but now either they're too expensive or they don't even know they exist, and so they now come to us. And so when there is a contraction, and this is highly recommended for you as well, during a contraction, you've absolutely got to ramp up the amount of content that you've got going out, the amount of advertising, the amount of outbound calls, the amount of emails, everything. It all needs to be expanded, and a massive increase across the board. I just want to also talk about why businesses are cutting back. Now, obviously, we've got rising taxes. Taxes have just, seem to be the highest ever, and I think that's probably because they are. We've also got an increase in labour costs because of national insurance contributions have definitely increased, and because of that, it means then that organisations are not recruiting, and in fact, organisations are letting some team members go. And I think job losses are the highest for in 4 years. Now think about what was going on 4 years ago, 2025, go back to October 2021. What had we just gone through? What were businesses just struggling with? COVID, the whole planet was locked down, wasn't it? And so, we've caught back up effectively to that. The worst job losses in 4 years. And so when you think about that, and you think that, first up, companies are not hiring, number one. Number two, companies are letting team members go. And number three, national insurance has gone up. So those industries and those businesses that used to have that spare cash, that cash is now going on to paying for more people. And I kind of get it. The government has to raise taxes in some way. And we understand the idea, the U curve, when you're taxing the wealthy, and stats have shown this, and you might disagree, and if you disagree, that's fine. It's just because you don't understand it. Unfortunately, the stats show it. When you increase the wealthy more, the wealthy leave, and they end up paying less tax than you did. I think, is it a Laffer curve? I think the Laffer curve is to do with tariffs and so on, that Trump's doing. But I understand that businesses are struggling, and I understand that you also might be struggling. But there's some things that you could be doing right now that doesn't cost much, like sending an email. Like, we've upped our email now. We send 2 emails a week, and that's working really well for us. We've upped our content. We have a lot of short videos. We have an increase in live streams. In fact, I've just got 40 different topics to live stream about. And we're going to be hopefully live streaming once a day. We're so busy right now anyway, which is really cool. And one of the reasons we're so busy right now is because we've been doing all the content. We're putting out so much content for people to be able to see, and our visibility has gone up, and our search engine visibility has gone up as well. Like, writing articles that are human written, that are SEO'd, that doesn't cost you anything. All right, it might cost you time, but you don't have to outsource that. You can get someone else or yourself. You can do it yourself. You can live stream. That doesn't cost any money whatsoever. You can send an email twice a week like we're doing, which is having a decent effect. Like, that sort of thing either doesn't cost a lot of money or it costs nothing at all. And so this is some of the stuff that you can actually do that you should be implementing, like, this week. And you might go, well, I'll do that next week. And fine, you can do it next week, but you've lost a week. And we don't want you to lose a week. We want you to do it this week. It's only Wednesday. So, set aside half an hour, put it out there. And I don't have an email list. It's like, it's bonkers. It's 2025. Why have you not got an email list? Everybody should have an email list. Well, on our email list, we can see who's opened what emails. We can message them. We can see which websites have been on. Oh, you've been looking at website design. Do you want to jump on a call for websites? We put out a campaign about that on our email this week. It's called Active Campaign Site Tracking, where you can track who's doing what on your website as long as they're in your database. Amazing amounts of data. That doesn't even cost that much money. Just needs to be set up. 97 quid if you don't know how to set it up. Come and talk to us about that. So, as a business owner or an entrepreneur, you've got to be increasing the amount of content that you're putting out there. There's no question about it. In 2025, your competitors these days, in terms of getting visibility, is not your competitors. It is Netflix and Pornhub and Disney and Alien Earth and politics and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and bikini-clad models and the sports, whatever sport is, for football or whatever it is that you're interested in. That's who you're competing with, and you've got to get attention. And the only way for you to get attention is to get in front of your customers. And the other side of that, of course, is the more people you get in front of, the more people are going to want what you sell. Not as a percentage of people, but more people are looking at what you do. You're going to sell more stuff. That's what marketing is. The right message to the right audience at the right time. That's it. That's marketing. Okay. And the problem with content, of course, is it's a bit more scattergun. If someone is watching your piece of content and they watch all of it, but they don't want what you sell, you ain't going to sell anything. Okay. That's one of the downsides of content. It's like you just shove it all out there and hope for the best, but the people that want to buy your stuff actually get to see your stuff. With paid advertising, however, you can actually run paid advertising to people who actually want what you want. So people who, 24-hour plumber leads or 24-hour dentist leads, like if I've got toothache at 2 a.m., I'm off to a 24-hour dentist, not a plumber, maybe a plumber, who knows, 24-hour dentist in Leeds to go get my toothache sorted out. I can pull the dentists that are open and, getting yourself on Google My Business, for example. How important is that? You go to Google, 24-hour dentist, your thing pops up if you're a dentist, we're open. Amazing. You just made a couple of £100. But if you haven't got that, which doesn't cost you that much money or even any money to set up if you know what you're doing, but you haven't done that. There's all these things that you should be doing in your business. And if you do them, it's going to make a tremendous effect. And it's going to have such an effect that it doesn't matter if businesses are cutting back. It doesn't matter if people are cutting back on their expenditure and so on. So look, I hope you find that useful. I hope that's something you can go and implement. And of course, we're here for you. If you've got any questions, come and ask us, and we'll catch up with you in the next live stream. My name's Dan Latter. Have a wicked day.